South Hadley, Massachusetts. We're going to take a tour of the streets along South Hadley Falls neighborhood. And during this neighborhood tour, we'll go over several streets, and we're pointing towards what is the South Hadley Canal's memorial. It memorialized not only the canal, but also the inclined plane they used to have here that lifted up the boats. This canal was built in 1795, same year as the inclined plane. An incredible system. So we're going to take a drive around this beautiful neighborhood. We're going out to North Main Street, and on the right is going to be a very old church. You can see a black plaque on it. It says Congregational Church. And then on the left side, you can see the old Firehouse Museum, the first firehouse of South Hadley. And it's now a museum that honors the history of South Hadley, plus it honors firemen's work. Very fabulous street, North Main Street, but since this is only a short tour, we just passed by the Methodist Church, which is an old wooden clad building. Now in front of us, to the left, is the former South Hadley Library built by the Gaylords. They built both libraries in the center and in the falls. There was one in the center, two in the falls, both of them built by the Gaylords. And incredibly, when finally the modern one was built 10 years ago, it was the first library in South Hadley not built by a Gaylord. All right, so now where we're going to the next section that's very important in the falls. And we're passing by the old Scott Paper Company, which became, was plastic coated, which became a lot of different things along the way, including the envelope company. Okay, we're going right into Lamb Street, and this street has many houses on it. It was named after Daniel Lamb, who was the founder of South Hadley Falls. I don't even know where he's buried. His gravestone is gone. Probably in the South Hadley Falls Cemetery, moved from the Pine Grove Cemetery of Chicopee. But the gravestone is gone. There's no information. And he had a big farm here, plus he had a tavern, and he had a lot of workers on his place. When you come to this section, which is near the town hall and the police station, there's lots and lots of side streets. And if you have a sharp eye, you can pick out the very old homes along here. Most of the ones that are close to the road are very, very old. And we're going to take a trip down where the South Hadley Village Cemetery is, then around and out. But in front of us now is the beach grounds, named after the look of it. When he first wanted to develop it, it would look like a beach. And it's the most heavily used park in South Hadley. It's near the biggest, probably not quite the biggest anymore. Right, we're going onto Spring Street, which is the entrance to the Village Cemetery, also called the South Hadley Falls Cemetery, which we have a separate tour because it's so important. And you gotta remember that the Falls is only the second oldest neighborhood in South Hadley. The center is the oldest by far. And here's the gates, and we'll go through the cemetery. And in this cemetery, the modern stones come first. And then once you turn right, then you start meeting the very old one, including right next to us on the right, we're next to the Chapin Stone, which was moved from High Street about the year 1910 and brought into the Village Cemetery. And Chapin was probably the second most important person in the flats. And then there was a guy named Ariel Cooley, which married into the family. He was probably the third most important family. So the Cooley, the Chapins, the Lambs, all the most important families. There was also the Bardwells, and some of the families from the Gaylord family moved here. And the Bardwell family has 3 different plots here, probably all moved in at different times. It's very suspicious how they're arranged and how the years go. And then the Bowden family, which is on our immediate right, with a large white stone, that was moved here from Solly Center because the Bowden family moved into the Falls. So, okay, so now we're going to leave from the cemetery, come back to the other edge of the beach grounds, and this time we're going to turn back on the main street, and we're going to enter a tour on Main Street, but it's going to be following most of this lower part of Main Street. Main Street has a lot of segments to it: south, east, north, and then just Main Street itself. And Main Street has, on the right, across from the beach grounds, the town hall, which also used to be the high school when it was first made, and that's on the immediate right. And it's developed, has residence. On the right also is a white building that had a Native American burial found there about the year 1920 or so. Okay, and we're coming up again to our start point, and the last thing I'll show you on the right is the St. Patrick's Church with its rectory. This is the 3rd location of the church. First location was up by Crescent Street. All right, so thank you for coming on this wonderful tour with me.